Welcome to Mastrius, the online global community for motivated creatives providing personal, meaningful, and interactive connections. Pursue your artistic dreams while getting personal feedback from world-class masters and building authentic relationships with artists just like you.
It's a way of connection with creativity being our foundation, but it's as if we're uplifting one another.
Each group follows similar monthly rhythms, but is unique, like each artist in them. Find the perfect one for you.
But I would definitely say just jump in with both feet and just have fun. You just never know. It's just fantastic. I love it.
It's a relationship and getting to know the artist, and yeah, it's mentorship and friendship.
You'll begin each session with your master in warm connection. Your navigator will introduce any new members, and you'll spend a few minutes celebrating the achievements of your fellow members.
There's nothing like it. The support that you get, the inspiration, the motivation, the cheering in the background.
The first half of each session is spent reviewing the homework your master artist assigned at the end of your last session. The second half of each session is teaching curated for you. We get to know you, as your navigator uses the info you provided in your new member profile form, the group discussions, and the questions you ask. They ensure your session is specially designed for you and your group. At the end of each session, your master will give you an assignment to work on until you meet again. But it doesn't end there. Between your session, your navigator will support and guide you as you connect with your group, engaging online, in our regular live events, or in your mid-month sessions.
I enjoy getting together at my mid-month meetings with my group and asking questions and sharing our celebrations and also sharing our failures and being able to laugh about it.
We're excited to have you. With Mastrius, rediscover the joy in being creative.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mastrius. I'm Julie deBoer. We're so glad that you're here. Take a minute to settle in. This is going to be a very special event. It's one of my favorite topics. Go ahead and open up the chat at the bottom of your Zoom screen and say hi. Let us know where you're joining from. And if you've been mentored at Mastrius, share one word you'd use to describe your experience. And if you're new, let us know. We'd love to welcome you. Please feel free also to drop your questions and comments in the chat at any time during the event. This is meant to be interactive. We want you to get what you came for. If you ever have trouble hearing, there's also closed captioning available at the bottom of your screen. Just click the three dots or the more button and choose captions in whatever language you like. So Mastrius is a global community where creatives like you grow faster and stronger through live, small group mentorship with master artists. It's a safe, encouraging space to get real feedback, practical guidance, and connection with peers who understand your journey. And that's what we're talking about today. We've got a few Mastrius artists joining us to share their own experience and the impact of mentorship on their art, on their careers, and on their lives. And I'm so excited to hear their stories. We've got artist and mentor Lori Meeboer joining us shortly, and then in a little bit, Marcia Kurzveld and Jason Tatinger will be joining us as well. Mike will be sharing some links in the chat. We do have a base membership if you're not ready for mentorship, where you can come to all of these weekly live events with that membership. Look in the chat for that link. And friends, I said it before and I'll say it again, fall is literally right around the corner. September is, we're in a few days, I guess, here. And I know how quickly life fills up once September hits. And if we don't really plan ahead, our art easily slips to October, to the bottom of the list. I know because I've been there. So please remember and be encouraged to make your art a priority. Mentorship groups are filling up and I don't want to see your name on a wait list. So step into the fall with intention. You're worth it. And so is your art. All right. So again, my name is Julie deBoer. I'm a Canadian landscape painter and the founder of Mastrius. My paintings are deeply inspired by the beauty of the Canadian landscape, especially the prairies and mountains that I call home in Alberta. Through color, light, and movement, I aim to capture the pulse of nature and the emotion of a fleeting moment. I know firsthand the difference mentorship makes in an artist's journey because my own path was shaped by it massively. As a self-taught artist, I really struggled with isolation and simply not having the skills to reach my goals until I found a mentor who believed in me, who challenged me and walked alongside me. And that experience completely transformed not only the quality of my work, but also my career and my life. And it planted the seed for Mastrius, what is now a global movement of artists supporting artists and learning and growing together. It's such a joy to be here with you today. And I'm very pleased to welcome Lori Meeboer. She's also a Canadian artist joining us from Ontario, whose creative roots run deep in the rugged beauty of the Canadian Shield. Lori is a third-generation artist with a lifelong passion for painting. Since 2009, she's built her career as a professional acrylic painter, and since 2011, she's also been an art educator. Her distinctive mosaic style is bold, whimsical, and bursting with color, full of energy and instantly recognizable. Alongside exhibiting in solo and joint gallery shows and participating in major events like Toronto's One of a Kind show, Lori now shares both her artistic expertise and practical wisdom on building a thriving career. But what makes Lori's story especially inspiring is that she began here with us at Mastrius as a member receiving mentorship herself. In just, I think it was a year maybe, Lori launched her art business so quickly that she came back and joined us as a mentor, determined to help other artists do the same. And she has many, many times over helped artists launch their careers. Her story is a great example of the power of mentorship, which is simply personalized teaching, support, feedback, so you can reach the goals that are right in front of you and overcome the barriers you're struggling against, and how quickly that can have an impact. So please join me in welcoming Lori Meeboer. I can hear all the applause. Hi, Lori. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me for this awesome topic. All right, so we do have Jason and Marcia waiting in the wings, but I wanted to dive in first with you because your story is pretty unique. You're not the only one who has this story. There are a few of our mentors who started here first as mentees, myself included. I think of Crystal Rassi and a few others, Marcella. But tell me a little bit about your journey at Mastrius, kind of what your experience was like and what was kind of the big aha moment for you.
Sure. So I had been painting. I don't know how long I've been painting. People ask how long I've been painting. I've been painting since I was a child because my dad was an oil painter. So I was always playing and, messing around. And I studied art in university and then started a career that was not art related and have my family. And we all know how life gets. It gets really busy. So when my youngest was really kind of basically self-sufficient, in school full time and et cetera, I really started to focus back on painting. And one of the things that brought me back to painting as a potential career was taking classes. So I used to do workshops at my local college and take classes from professional artists whenever I could, trying to just gather and garner as much information and, that wealth of knowledge from them. And I did that, and it helped me to develop my style. And then I want to say it was early 2019, I had my first solo show myself, painting in my current style. I had figured that out. And my solo show went really, really well. And then I didn't know what to do next. And so I had no idea how to get into a gallery. They don't teach you that necessarily in art school. I had no idea what to do with social media. How do I promote myself? How do I ship a painting? This is a silly question, but it's a question I needed answered. So I gifted myself membership at Mastrius. I remember I gave it to myself for Christmas, and I started in December. And I thought, I'm going to try this. And it was with a well-known Canadian artist. And I thought, this person has been a professional in this industry for a lot of years. Hopefully, they can help me to understand how to kick down some of these doors and how to overcome some of these hurdles. And so not only did I have a really exceptional mentor, I ended up meeting this really incredible group of humans in my mentoring group that I still connect with today. I know Julie because of Mastrius. And so it was really fun because they were kind of at the same point I was. They'd all found their styles. And so we had a mentor that definitely critiqued our work, and we critiqued each other's works, and we refined our work, definitely our styles. I learned more than I had known before about composition, about color theory, and then I learned some tips and tricks about those things. I learned time saving tricks. I was a full-time mom with a lot of kids. That was critical for me. I learned how best to market myself. How do I market myself? Am I sure my style is something that I think is going to sell? And how do I tell how to pivot if it's not? How do I apply to a gallery? I knew the basic of email a gallery, but how do I really feel prepared for that? And when that gallery is going to call me, how do I get prepared for that? So within a year, I was in 2 galleries. Within a year of being with Mastrius, I was in 2 galleries. I'd really set up my social media. I had completely revamped a website. I had a website. It was very sad and sorry. And I had completely redone a website, understanding what the pivotal things were, even what platform to use for my website.
Yeah.
I had gotten a couple of recommendations. At the end of the day, I will say I probably learned as much from the other mentees in my group as we did from our mentor. And I think our mentor learned a bit from us too in that group.
Yeah.
So off I went. I was in 2 galleries, and before long, 2 galleries was 4 galleries. And, it kind of took off from there. I was in shows. I was entering art shows, doing art shows, winning prizes, a bursary or 2 in there, a couple of artist in residence, and really kind of just blossoming into kind of where my career path has led today, which is now a gallery owner. And I'm able to bring other artists into the gallery, which is just so wonderful to do that. And then be able to come back and give back to Mastrius as a mentor. So it really was such a pivotal point for me that I just don't know for sure how I would have gotten there without Mastrius. I know it would have taken a lot longer and probably with a lot more frustration.
Yeah, which is my backstory. Which is why we built Mastrius, because my story was so long, slow, and frustrating because I was trying to figure it out on my own until I realized, how do you fill gaps in your knowledge when you don't know what the gaps are, right? I just lacked awareness about what I didn't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. Yeah, that's awesome. So what was, if I can ask, what was like the biggest, the thing that you don't think you maybe would have figured out on your own, or that just would have taken so much longer?
There were things that I knew I needed to figure out how to do, like shipping, like networking. Then there were the things I didn't know that really were aha moments for me, like why you should paint a collection. So, and I don't mean a collection like this is my body of work for, the next 6 months. Here it is. I mean a cohesive collection that you're painting it all at the same time. Different sizes, different price points, different angles of the same photo reference, a variety of things. I think that was really pivotal for me in sales, was learning how to paint a collection and why it's a good idea to paint a collection. That's the one thing I don't think I would have figured out on my own. And I think it's been critical for me in my sales journey for sure.
Yeah, I found when I got a mentor, I had some big aha moments. One was in my career and kind of building a business that was sustainable and that I could live off of. And for 7 years, I tried it on my own and I made a meager income, and it was kind of stable, but it was small. I couldn't live off of it. And then when I got a mentor in my life who walked with me and kind of taught me how to do it, I quadrupled my income in a few years. Like, it was significant. Did you find that sort of impact as well?
Oh, absolutely. You ask the question of yourself, how do I know what to charge?
Right.
And it's not just a guessing game. And so being able to understand the formulas of how to calculate your cost or your price and your cost too, to know, am I making money? I'm advertising, I'm buying supplies, I'm shipping. How do I know how to make money? How do I know what to charge for shipping? So things like understanding your pricing was huge. And in the times when I was scared to make a leap in pricing, to go up that next notch, I remember my mentor saying to me, I'm just going to tell you, the more I charged, the more I sold.
Yeah.
I was like, that can't be true. And hold, it was true. And so it was really interesting, but there's a lot that goes into determining where you start with your pricing, how you calculate your pricing. There's a few different ways to do it: pricing per square inch, sliding scale. There's a few different ways to do that. And I've seen people underprice themselves to the point, like you said, they might be making a little income, but it's meager at best, or overpricing themselves right out of sales because they just aren't established enough yet to command that price. So pricing was huge for me. And I also got really lucky. I started to really sell probably 2018, but then in my current style. I was selling before that, but in my current style, I started to really sell in 2018 on my own. And then I got very lucky in that I hit galleries, et cetera, just as COVID started. And if you talk to any artists who were selling during COVID, it was crazy. And
Yeah.
I think if I hadn't been ready for that, it wouldn't have happened.
You might have missed it. Yeah, you might have missed it.
And I'll honestly say, yeah, for sure. And I'll honestly say now it's a different kind of pivot. It's a pivot to a harder market. It's a pivot to being more strategic. And truth be told, for me, the things that worked for me 5 years ago aren't the things that work now. And you have to have somebody in your corner who is going through the pivot with you, but has the ideas to say, try this. This seems to be working. I've talked to this person. That networking and talking to other artists who've been there or are going through it with you. That's critical because we're in a bit of a pivot right now. The economy's a little shakier. You can still make money in economies like this. You just have to know how to do it.
That's right. And now we're going to bring on Jason in a minute. But before we do, Lori, you are a gallery owner now. You represent Canadian artists, I believe, from across the country, which is amazing. And how many of them are ones that you actually mentored at Mastrius and kind of got them ready?
Let me just count. I think 4.
Okay, I think we counted before and it was like 8.
Was it 8? No, we have 8 local artists. We have 8 local artists. Well, I'll tell you this. I have 4 that were in my mentoring groups. I have others who I've connected with through, so it could be about 8. I have others I've connected through Mastrius, like Leslie Starr and Jen Vandenbroek. So I have folks like that are Mastrius connections, but they're more, I consider them my peers. I didn't mentor them. But I have others who I have mentored. One of my navigators is one of my artists. Melissa Mulder is one of my artists. So I do have people who've attended functions at Mastrius, reached out to me, and built a relationship there. And then some of my peers from Mastrius, and then some folks I've mentored from Mastrius.
Are you finding quality artists coming out of Mastrius? Is that what I'm hearing?
What's nice about my artists who come out of Mastrius? They tend to know how to apply to an art gallery. They tend to know what I'm going to expect of them. They, more than any other artists who aren't like really, really established Canadian artists. Michelle Parody is another one of my artists who came through Mastrius. They really understand the professional side of it and the business side of it. And as a gallery owner, I love to find talent walk through the door, but man, oh man, the professionalism and the business sense, that is priceless.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, thanks for sharing. Let's bring on Jason. Come on down, Jason. All right. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Welcome. Everyone, this is Jason Tiedinger, and I'm going to pelt you with a few questions, and we're going to dive into a little bit about your experience. Tell me about when did you join Mastrius, and what is your medium of choice? Those are your first 2.
So I joined in February, and at the time I was painting in watercolor. I now paint in a mixture of open acrylics, they're not quite a heavy body, and then fluid acrylics as well. So I do a combination of fluid acrylics in a watercolor style, and then paint with the heavy bodies. But this is also on Mylar, so I paint on the front and the back.
Now your story is kind of, yeah, I got a bit of your backstory. You came, like you've experienced a bit of a style shift because you were exploring and trying new things when you came to Mastrius. And actually we have some before and after photos, which kind of demonstrates that shift beautifully. Mike, if you wouldn't mind pulling up Jason's images here. So there we go. So before this, tell me a little bit about your befores. This is watercolor.
So this was part of a series, Smoke, Rust, Ash, and Dust. I was visiting Montana last year about this time, and there was a major forest fire in Wyoming, and it just created this very eerie yet beautiful look. And so I did 4 paintings in this series. But just kind of found that with watercolor, that I was kind of maybe hitting my limit with it, or just had been doing it for 2 years straight. I didn't even look at another medium. So maybe I just was a little burned out with watercolor. I'm not sure, but my group with Charlie Easton, we were given an assignment to do a master copy. And I was like, well, I don't want to do a master copy of a watercolor. So I found somebody who had done an oil painting of Laguna in California, and I tried that. And for whatever reason, I did it on a different kind of paper, similar to Yupo, and that was going to be my underpainting, and then I was going to underpainting in watercolor, and then I was going to paint over that with acrylic. Why I complicated it, I have no idea. But anyway, it kind of turned me on to, maybe painting on something like Yupo. And so I went to my local art supply store, and they didn't have large sheets of it, and they only sold books, but they did sell Mylar, which is also known as Duralar, and it's a frosted material, kind of like your shower door, and it accepts oil paint, acrylic paint. And I did something on that, and I was like, ooh, this is something.
Okay, Mike, switch to the after, please. Because there's a great shift here. Like, this is remarkable. Tell me how we got to here.
Those others, the Smoke, Rust, Ash, and Dust obviously was, kind of determined by the atmosphere. I do like to paint chromatic, but I find that I get a little too chromatic. So what I try to start with now is a little bit more gray, and then, but we all remember the first time we discovered quinacridone magenta or diaxarine purple and had it all over our hands. And I mean, it's just like, awesome with color, but eventually you've got to balance it out. So that's part of it. And then just really pushing to see, what I can do with the medium. And the one on the left is is Buffalo Bill Cody. And he is on and under Mylar. So that one's painted front and back on Mylar. The one on the right is solely on canvas, but I use the watercolor technique with the fluid acrylics to get the dripping and the atmospheric, bubbling. It's kind of also like acrylic pouring, because I use alcohol ink alcohol to break it up.
It's lovely. Now, tell me a little bit about, this is a bit of a journey of you finding your artistic voice. Can you speak to that for a moment?
Yeah, it was, I kind of felt a little bit, stuck, but I didn't know what I wanted. And I likened it kind of to, you go to therapy, maybe expecting a few things, and you talk to a therapist, they ask you a few questions, and then they ask the question that you never thought about. And then it's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And so I think that's what happened with with the master copy, because it was unintended circumstances, but it was something that opened up a gateway for me. But then the other aha is that you might be listening to somebody else's critique, and then if you're receptive, I mean, you have to be coachable, mentorable, you have to be receptive to this, input. And even if it's not, and I think it's probably easier to take that medicine when it's given to somebody else. Like if if you hear
yeah,
Julie getting told that her colors are way off by Lori, you're going to be like, well, my colors are even crazier than Julie's. Maybe I should, I mean, but if you're receptive, if you're open, and you kind of have to know, it's hard to know where you are. And I think you talked about that. There's what you know, you don't know, and then what you don't know that you don't even know. And that world is the biggest of them all. And without an extra set of eyes, you're not going to see your blind spot. And so and I think you guys touched on this, that you're meant in your group. That's sometimes where a lot of the, actions happen, like maybe the mentors doing something like today in my group. I said, if you guys don't get tired of hearing me blathering on, come and listen to me. And Gail, who's in our group, she was like, well, you probably just have something really good to say. And I was like, oh, that's the nicest thing I've heard all day, And so, I mean, getting things like that, or being told, hey, like when I started showing my pieces in my mentorship groups, my Mylar pieces, there, some people are like, I don't know what you're doing, but I like it. They don't understand the process, but they see the results. And that's what my saying is people don't want to know how the sausage is made. They just want to know how good it tastes,
that's right.
And,
Well,
so that's my art.
yeah, and I just want to highlight because you both have mentioned the small group and the value of the peer piece, which is usually what we hear is the biggest surprise for new artists coming. They come for the mentor. We have an incredible roster of master artists from around the world. And then we stick them in a small group of peers, and they're like, what's with the peer group? I just want to be with the mentor. And then they discover the value of the peer-to-peer feedback and learning, and having those other eyes. And then, like you said, Jason, when your peer is getting critiqued, you're learning so much because you're all kind of at the same stage, you're working on the same stuff, so it's so relevant, and it kind of softens the learning too, because you're learning through someone else. It's really brilliant. Cool. Okay, let's bring on Marcia Kurzfeld. Marcia, come on down.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Okay, and Lori and Jason, you're welcome to pelt Marcia with questions too. And folks in the audience, please feel free to ask questions. And if you are a Mastrius member, you might have missed it when we first logged on here. I wanted you to summarize in one word your experience at Mastrius. So I'm going to make you do it. Put you on the spot. All right, Marcia, tell me a little bit about your backstory. When did you join Mastrius, and what's your medium of choice?
Well, I joined quite a while ago. It was May of 2021, actually. So I'm kind of a Mastrius junkie, I guess you could say. So medium of choice is fluid acrylic. I was actually, and how I got into Mastrius, Julie, was watching you on Instagram, because you were talking about it one day. And I think I watched the recording. It was when it was leveling up. So I watched the recording a few times. I was like, started looking online and stuff. And then I was hooked, and 4.5 years later, I'm still here, and I have no intention of leaving. So there's so many methods to choose from. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And,
yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, I just want to show off your artwork. So let's get that out of the way. Okay. Mike, we put them before and after, side by side. So here is before on the left, and look at the difference. I just adore your animal portraits.
Oh, thank you.
So good. So much character. So obviously, big impact on your work, and you finding your style, and also your your narrative. Hey, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's I guess it came out of me kind of slowly, I guess, over time. Like Lori, I had another career that was not art related at all, and had the opportunity to retire from it in 2023. And that's kind of when I was able to really start doing what every mentor, and I've had 7 at this point, have told me, practice, like put the paint on the canvas and make a mess. You're going to fail on some of the paintings. They're not going to work. You're going to paint over them. And it wasn't until I started doing that I started to kind of see my own voice coming out. And it came out in the form of colorful animals.
All right, Mike, switch it to the next one. There's another great before and after.
So the one on the left, the before, that was the first time I ever used acrylic paint, and I had no idea what I was doing. And yeah, he's a very lumpy, bumpy horse, but he still sits in the corner and reminds me of how far I've come. And I actually have a whole bunch in my studio of paintings that I did prior to joining Mastrius that I look at them and, you know, I'm always doing a little critique of them. And whereas I couldn't see the flaws in them before, but now I can.
Incredible, just incredible growth. What was the most meaningful thing that you've learned? I mean, to sum up years of mentorship, share maybe a few of the big aha moments.
I think it's that you have to be true to yourself. And unless you're painting something that you absolutely want to paint, that you're in love with, the viewer's going to, they're not going to feel it. But if you paint with your heart, with intention, then that comes through and it connects with people. And for a few years, I guess, I always tried to emulate my mentor. And I wanted to paint like they did. And I guess the aha moment was when I started kind of doing what I wanted to do. And I knew that maybe some of the mentors I had in the past, they'd be like, okay. And I think the aha moment is that you take bits and pieces from every mentor. You can't take it gospel from everyone. And you put together, by using bits and pieces, you put together your own style. And that was the aha moment for me, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a bit, because often the way that we learn as artists is by copying, and that's kind of the workshop model to some degree, not to generalize too much, but generally we're copying technique and an actual painting we're replicating as we learn. I'll start with you, Lori. Tell me a little bit about how we move from copying into finding our own style, and how, if you can put it in a 30-second synopsis of how you encourage and mentor artists to kind of take those steps.
I will tell you that the last thing you want to hear when you apply to a gallery is, oh, your work looks like XYZ. I don't know as a gallerist how many times I've said that, but it's been a lot. And someone will proudly say, oh yes, I took a course with him, or I took a course with her. But that can't be you. That can't be your voice, because it's already someone else's voice. So I think it is so critically important to find your style. And Marcia summed it up when she said, like, paint what makes you happy. Paint what makes your heart sing. Paint what makes you really, really proud. And you'll know when you hit your style, because you'll step back and say, I don't think this looks like anything I've seen anyone else do. But you'll see the little tiny pieces that came from each of your mentors, or everyone you've taken a course with. You'll see those pieces in there. And sometimes it's your composition, sometimes it's color theory, sometimes it's some of those technical aspects you've learned. Sometimes it's to add whimsy to it. Sometimes it's, whatever that may be, learning about atmospheric perspective, whatever that might be, you'll see those little pieces. Take those pieces, but don't take those pieces and copy them. Take those pieces and bend them and shape them and make them into yours, so that no one will ever say to you, oh, Julie, your work really looks like so-and-so.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point, because we're at first like, oh, that's such a compliment. But it's like, no, it's not. It's not. You don't want to look like anyone else. You are a unique artist. Jason, tell me how you choose a mentor. How do you know the one is right for you?
I would say you don't. You just take the chance. You ask the girl to dance, and if she shuts you down, there's more girls at the dance. So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I would say, now I don't always take this medicine myself, but whatever it is you're avoiding is the thing that you need to pursue. So for me, I thought I wanted to do really quick plein air painting. But it was more about getting a quick result and getting that little dopamine hit. And, so I was avoiding planning. And I think because that's what I used to do a lot in my previous job. And so, but it was a strength. I did it not because I was forced to, but it was a strength. And so today that was my own talk with myself, is that we can't just be right brained all the time. And I think Doug Swinton's talked about this. You want to, have things set up so your left brain's taking care of all the stuff. You've got your supplies, everything's taken care of. So now you can grab that brush and be creative. And so I was kind of denying the left side because I thought that the left side killed the right side. And so, it's Cain and Abel in my head.
Right. Yeah.
So I would say don't worry about finding the right mentor, because there really is no such thing. And your style is within you, just like your handwriting, just like your voice, just like how when you giggle, you snort, or whatever, like certain people, it's just a characteristic that you haven't exercised yet, or you haven't exercised in such a long time. You've forgotten that your right side of your brain and your left side of your brain can work together.
I love that. Thank you. Now, Marcia, you are a navigator with us, which means that's a role. If you're new here, we have a navigator in every group who assists the mentor and is a community kind of builder for the small group. So kind of a connection person. And so you've worked with
They're the glue. They're the glue.
They're the glue.
They're the glue.
That's right. That's right. Who are you most surprised by? So you've worked with a lot of mentors, so you totally get what Jason is saying, that there is not one perfect match, that each one brings great value. Who is the most surprising to work with, that you got a surprising value out of, you weren't expecting?
Bobby Dunlop. And she opened my eyes to oil paints, which I really have to get back and try them again. But it was just her, and I mean, I'm just, all of them, I could speak for hours on each of them, but since you asked about one in particular one, I would say it would be Bobby, but now I'm thinking about all the other things for all the other mentors. But yeah, just her technique, her kindness, and oil was something I didn't really have an interest in, and I fell in love with it. I didn't keep going with it because I just didn't have the space at the time. But now I have the space and I have no excuse, so I should try it again.
I'm sure you've got a lot on the go. How many groups?
Now I can talk about all the other mentors too.
Yeah, that's right. Tell me about, so both of you, there's Jason, about the value of the peer group. What's the biggest value of working shoulder to shoulder with peers, in your opinion? Lori, let's start with you.
Networking. Like Jason talked about how you'll hear someone else have their work critiqued and you'll have your little aha moments in your brain because it's easier to be receptive. That's so true. But for me, it was building this network of amazing humans who were going through what I was going through while I was going through it. Your mentor is ahead of you, right? So they're reaching down to help pull you up, but the people going through it with you, the people that are in the mud with you, they're the ones who tell you don't stop on the days you want to stop. They're the ones who say, that's really good. And they're the ones who say, something looks funny right here. And it's easier sometimes when it comes from your peer. You're like, yes, I didn't know and I couldn't. And to this day, most of the peers from my Mastrius group are professional artists now. They're in galleries, they're represented, and we still have phone calls where we say, what happened to you when you hit this wall? Or, how do I do this? Or do you know somebody I could connect with wherever because of this. And that networking is absolutely critical. That peer group is critical.
Thank you. Jason, how about you?
So just, yeah, having those people there that are either going through the same thing you are, or, something different, and you can, really cheer them on, and maybe it puts you in a different space. Like you're not just thinking of yourself. And you talked earlier about somebody asked why is it not one-on-one? Well, you're not trying to charge $500 an hour. It cuts the cost, and it helps with those days when you don't feel like talking, when you want to be that fly on the wall. And some people don't, warm up very, very quickly in group settings. But I think that there is a certain safety there, where you've got, you're in your space, but you can hear, other people. And art is a very solitary journey. I mean, most of us are probably, have earbuds in when we're painting, or maybe the music's just a little loud to cut down on the traffic, or, whatever it is. And you've got to get out of your own head every once in a while. And sometimes helping others, and, offering a kind word, and just a critique, through chat or whatever, could brighten somebody's day. So I think it's hard to know what it's meant to everybody. But, it's the nice thing is we're not in high school anymore. We're all here on the same boat. Might have a few holes in it, but we're in the same boat.
I love that. Thank you. And Marcia, how about you?
I love the peer groups, because for mid-months during your Mastrius session with your mentor, you're down to business. You're getting, feedback, critiques, your next lesson. But it's at the mid-month that you can actually have those, authentic conversations with your peers. You can ask, there's no stupid questions, and we all feel that we have stupid questions in us, but that's the opportunity to ask those questions and get feedback. And, you laugh together, and, share stories that maybe there might not be time to share in the mentor session, because you don't want to take away from the instruction that the mentor is giving you.
Great. And just to clarify, so there's 2 sessions per month. There's the mentorship session, which is a 2-hour session with your mentor in small group. And then there's a mid-month session, a 1-hour casual with your navigator in group without the mentor, which is nice because
those.
Yeah, don't skip those. Those are rich.
They're critically important to your journey.
Yeah.
Well, and the term navigator might make it sound like they're directing, but they're there with you. They're, my mentors are like, how do you guys want to do the next session? What do you want? A demo? Do you want this? And so you're collectively having these inputs, and they're, half the group's like, I'm open to anything. Then a few people have an opinion, but also some people are keeping score, like, hey, last month so-and-so asked for this. Let's do their thing. So, your needs will be met. You just might not, necessarily get your request, but you'll learn something.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that for a sec, because it is personalized, right? It's not like a course with a set curriculum. Mentorship is organic. It's a conversation. You get to request what you want to learn. You can always ask questions. Lori, do you want to speak to how you handle that as a mentor?
I cannot say strongly enough, go to your mid-month, because the navigators come back to us as mentors and say, hey, we're really liking this, but we'd like to take it in this direction. Or this isn't resonating with this group right now as much. Can we talk about this? We have a lot of people struggling with this. Or, so I know in that mid-month, they can speak freely to their navigator and let them know what's working, what's not. And I always, every single month, have a conversation with the navigator about a week before a mentoring session. And we make the decisions as to what's going to happen for that next week. And it's so critical. It's important to go to your mid-months, and it's important to be vocal in your mid-month and in your actual mentoring sessions to get that kind of feedback. It's going to help us plan what we do for you next, because just like you, we don't know what we don't know. I don't know what's resonating with you necessarily, or what's not, or what you really need right now. Those things are critical. It's your learning path. Be open, be vocal, ask those questions, provide your input, ask for what you need.
Marcia, you're the navigator. Tell me how that goes down in the mid-month.
I mean, so the mid-months are an hour long, and usually it's just a catch up for the first little bit. And then we kind of, I'll ask, how did everyone enjoy the last session? How's everyone's homework going? Because we're always assigned homework for the most case in each month. And so we'll talk about that. And yeah, so it's a very fluid, it's not scripted at all. It's just a bunch of like-minded people coming together and getting to know each other a bit more every month you do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and just to speak to that too, part of our mission, and this is a very personal mission for me, is to make the industry more supportive and collaborative and shoulder to shoulder. My experience was when I was starting out and just kind of learning, I had great friendships with artists in my community, and we were learning together and we were doing great. But when I started selling, the elbows came out, not with kind of those people, but when I kind of got out there into the shows and stuff, elbows were out and I got burned and I was shocked. And very quickly I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do this all by myself, because this is not the kind of culture and atmosphere that I'm comfortable with. So I hunkered down for 7 years. I was all by myself, going it alone. It was so unfortunate. So that's one of my big missions, of our missions at Mastrius, that all of you are part of, and making happen in our small groups and with this connection.
Can I just say what Julie just said is very true. It rings very true with me as well. And eventually you find an artist or two who's not a gatekeeper, and that you can have a real sense of community with them, and they want you to win as much as you want them to win. But when I tell you that all of the mentors at Mastrius are those people, it's like Julie's been and Mike have been able to collect those people who are not gatekeepers. So we're mentors for a reason. We're mentors because we want to help you. There is room for everyone in the art world, and we all lift each other up. The stronger the Canadian art scene is, the stronger the American art scene is, internationally as well, the better it is for everyone. We get exposed to each other's art. It's wonderful. So when you're looking for those people who don't have their elbows up, you can find them in here, because that's who the mentors are here. We're here to share that information, the navigators as well.
Thanks for saying that. We do, I meet all of our mentors. I make sure everyone is not a gatekeeper, right? They're all looking to lift artists up, and there's so many out there. So yeah, it's a safe place to grow. Absolutely. I do have one fun question. All of you at some point came to Mastrius to be mentored, and you had to overcome an obstacle or a hurdle, or maybe a mental hurdle to do that, because it's a bit of a step, right? It's a financial commitment. You're maybe stepping outside of your comfort zone a little bit. It's a brand new model, like a small group mentorship thing isn't really happening out there except here. What was your biggest concern or fear, and how did you get over it? And then we're going to share that for the people that are here that might be up against that same hurdle. Marcia, how about you?
I would say it was putting my work out there to people I didn't know, because my mom loves everything I do. And, I was so looking forward to, and also at the same time, terrified of honest, constructive critiques. And I just didn't want to hear, oh, it's nice. Because I think that's, we put stuff out on social media, we show it to family. You never get true constructive feedback, but you do here. And, but at the same time, it was hard to, work on something that I'm like, oh, okay, I like this, and, have it, looked at, and then I wouldn't say shredded, because none of the mentors shred it. Well, maybe Doug Swinton a little bit, but he always warns you and asks you to get some tissue because he may make you cry. Just joking, he's great. But yeah, I think that was the biggest hurdle for me, but now I love it. I thrive on it. I want feedback on my work, because that's how you get better.
Awesome. Jason, how about you?
So for me, it was after about 3 years of going to YouTube University, I just kind of realized that I was only getting, it was one-way communication. There were, I might ask a question and they respond and, on the chat and YouTube, but there wasn't a relationship there. So I knew that that's what I needed. And I spoke earlier about isolation. I'm that kind of guy. I mean, my studio is called Solitude Studio. I am, but I also acknowledge that I need that interaction. And I found that, the elbows out thing that you were talking about was also very true in the local community, where I'd go to a critique and then people were trying to sell me something like, oh, I can teach you this class, I can do this. It's like, I thought you were holding a critique, not a sales call. I'm not buying a timeshare. Now, and I'll acknowledge the elephant in the room. You do pay for Mastrius, but you're paying for a service. If people are giving things away, what's the rub? This, you're paying for it. And I mean, it was easy to make the transition in, and I've got to say the library is awesome. By the library. But so it was an acknowledgement of self. Again, what is it that you're avoiding? That's probably the exact thing you need. That's your medicine. And for me, I had been isolated for a year. I'm like, okay, now it's time to put myself back out there.
Thank you for sharing. Lori, how about you?
For me, it wasn't the financial investment, because if I can invest in a gym membership, I can invest in this. But that wasn't it, because I was paying for ads on social media. I'd invested in courses, I'd done other things. But oftentimes I felt like in the courses, what Jason just said, that it felt like a one-way conversation, as more so. Sometimes you'd get critiques, etc. For me, I just shot for the sky, and the mentor I wanted to sign up for was probably one of the most well-known Canadian artists. And I thought, ooh, this is like really scary. This person has never seen my work before I walk in here. And if they hate it, how am I going to feel about that? I don't want to sound ridiculous. I don't want to sound silly asking questions like, how do you ship a painting? What's the easiest way how do I calculate shipping costs on something? How do I price my work? And so I was really afraid that someone whose work and career that I really admired and thought a lot of and had followed for a long time was going to see my soft underbelly of what I did not know. And I just said to myself, yeah, I watched for a few months, thinking about it, pondering it. And then I just bit the bullet and I jumped in the deep end. And I'm so grateful that I did. The very first night, I remember the first night I came out of the session, and I came out of my studio, and my youngest child, who was a teenager at the time, said, how did that go? And I said, I made such a good decision. I made such a good decision. I was so happy with it. So just getting over that initial fear of somebody maybe who you really respect seeing your work and it being a scary thing, they're there for you to succeed. Like they're going to be every encouraging thing that you need. So just don't be afraid of that. Just do it.
Thank you. Great comment from Nancy Logan. She's such a sweetheart. Mastrius helped me with my confidence, which was quite lacking. It really is such a supportive and non-competitive environment. And if you ever have a chance to attend Julie's mentorship, don't hesitate. She was my first mentor and really made me realize we all have the same fears and concerns. You are not alone. I love that. Thank you, Nancy. And I will be mentoring again soon. Stay tuned. Okay, but we talked about the cost of it. Let's just hit that nail right on the head. Is it worth it? Did you get it back in some way? Obviously you guys are going to say yes, but Jason, you started in February, so you're still newer. Has it been valuable?
Oh yes, it's been very valuable. It's I wouldn't have stuck around had it not been, and it's it might not be for everybody, but there are a lot of people that it is for, and it's okay. But it's been very worthwhile. I've had at one moment, I've had 4 total different mentors, and I've also done a on-demand program. So I definitely encourage people to do that. And if you have any questions. I'm sure if you're in Mastrius, you can send me a question in Mastrius chat and I'll chat with you.
Awesome. Have you worked with one mentor at a time or more than one?
So Stephen and Manon, I had Stephen and Manon for 3 or 4 months at the same time.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, a lot of members work with multiple mentors at once. Marcia, worth it?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. So the first online art show I was ever in was through Mastrius, and that was in 2022. And I sold 2 paintings, and only one was to a friend, and the other one was to someone I had no idea who this person was. And I was actually like asking friends and family, like, is this someone? Is this a cousin? I don't know.
Did you tell them to buy it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and it kind of, that gave me the confidence to put into the next Mastrius show. And I learned so much. Yeah, it's just indescribable. And so that was in 2021. I sold my first painting to someone I didn't know. Fast forward to this year. I'm actually gallery representative now. That just happened in March. And I'm applying to online shows. I'm getting juried in, and I can't keep up with the demand. So absolutely worth it. I wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for Mastrius, because I'd still be painting my before pictures instead of my afters.
Yeah, that's amazing. And Lori, you kind of have, you're now earning at Mastrius. You're a paid mentor. Tell me about the value there.
The value to me is, as a mentee, the value is, I guess my question is, what is your dream worth? Is it your dream? Mm-hmm. Is it your dream to just be a really good painter? It's worth it then. Is your dream to be financially successful as a painter? It's worth it then. And, we have to remember not everybody is in this to be commercially successful. Some people are in it because they just really want to find that fulfillment. So is it worth it for your dream? I think the answer would be yes, because it's so affordable. And then as a mentor, which I now have income from Mastrius, nobody tell Julie, but I probably do it for free because I love mentoring other artists. I have a really strong passion for mentoring. And I do have a day job still because I love my day job, and my day job actually involves mentoring as well. So I have a really strong passion for mentoring, but I get to see artists come up and realize their dreams and sell their first piece to someone they didn't know. And so, I mean, is it worth it? It's worth it. You won't regret it. Worst case scenario, you try it for a few months and you don't like it, but you'll never regret it.
No.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, my heart is so full. Just a reminder, folks, I will stay on. We're going to wrap up here in a couple of minutes. So if you want to learn more about Mastrius, I'll show you how to use the website, how to choose a mentor. We can help you with that. And I'll give you a little bit of a tour. So stick around if you have a few minutes. But I want to give each of you a final word. So think of something brilliant and encouraging. and then we'll finish off on that high note, maybe something about, for an artist that is isolated, nervous, uncertain, but, has this passion and desire that is bubbling up in them. What would you say to that person? I'll start with Jason.
Don't regret not doing something. Regret doing something. So get off your ass and do something.
Love it. Marcia.
I would say that don't be afraid of the mentors are going to challenge you. That's what you're paying for. If you're not challenged, you don't grow. If you don't make mistakes, you don't grow. So embrace the homework, even if it's something that terrifies you. I just had to do something the last month that I never thought I would do, and it terrified me, but I learned from it, and actually at the end enjoyed it. So just embrace it.
Thank you, Marcia and Lori.
I was you. We were all you. You know, I can say that for I think every mentor in Mastrius and every professional artist, we were all you. And so if you look at the careers of some of the mentors and you see, you know, where they've gone, you think, if only, I wish I could. You can. You just haven't met the right people yet to help you get there. But I was you. So if you think you want kind of what I'm doing, which is a burgeoning art career, I sell all over the world. I'm in galleries, you know, if that's what you want, or if you just want to really love to paint, find the mentor for you, because we were all there.
Yes, we were. Absolutely. Well said, all of you. Thank you so much. Wow, that was really heartfelt and honest, and I appreciate you guys sharing your story and your artwork as well, the before and after. Thank you for joining us and sharing vulnerably. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And
Thanks
thanks
for having
everyone
us.
for coming. Yeah, you betcha. All right. Now you heard it from someone other than me. All right, stick around. I will show you again how to use the website. And something that just came up there at the end is about homework, which is kind of, there's so much more that we could have talked about, but like that accountability, there's homework and practice ideas that your mentor will give you to keep you pushing forward each month. And then you have that mid-month session where you can touch base with your group and see how the homework is going for everyone. And that accountability is really, really key, because you know, oh, the mid-month is coming up in 2 weeks. I better make sure I get going on my homework. And oh, the mentorship session is coming up. I better get my homework done and submitted. And it's not like school where you're getting marks, right? You do as much as you have time for. And some artists do 10 times the work, and some can't get to the homework. So whatever you have time for, you're not getting graded. So it's a beautiful, beautiful community, and the mentorship model is a high impact, high connection model, and it's a life-giving experience. So thanks for hearing those stories with us. Let me show you on the website. Just looking at my other screen here, I'll give you a quick little tour how to choose a mentor. All right. Our Wi-Fi is a little bit slow today here. All right, so when you go to mastrius.com, you will land here, and go ahead and take a look at the home page. When you're ready, go to the start here. It has a little bit more details about the model, and then you can go to the Choose Your Mentor page. And like Jason said, there's not one perfect fit mentor. Each mentor brings some incredible value, and so don't hesitate that you're going to make the wrong decision, and you're not like locked in. If you join a group and after a few months you feel like switching, that's okay. We would encourage you though to try to commit to a mentor for 3-4 months at least to get kind of that full experience of that mentor. But anyways, you're going to see here, all of our mentors are here, and we're a global community with a lovely roster of master artists from all around the world. And the way that we're going to narrow it down so that you find a good match for you is threefold. So first, you can just pop a name in here. So if you want to check out Lori's page, pop Lori in there, and then Lori will be pulled to the top of the grid. And then you just click on the image to see Lori's mentorship group information. And we also have a quiz. So if you're not sure who to work with and you'd like us to do the choosing, just take this quiz. It takes about 2 minutes to fill out. And then my team will make a match and they'll email you that match. And they're really, really good at it. So you can do that at any time. And then we also have this filter that opens on the left. And then you can play around with the filter and you'll see that the grid is going to update each time you make a selection. So you can choose, we have a few different price points. You're going to have to put in your stage. So if you hover over the I, it will define what aspiring, emerging, and accomplished means at Mastrius. So choose the one that feels like the best fit for you. So let's say I'm emerging. So now the grid is pulling all the mentors who work with emerging artists, and my Wi-Fi is super slow. All right, so then you can choose one or more mediums that you might be working in. And if you're coming for, say, business support and mentorship, then your medium is irrelevant, so you don't need to select that. There's also specialty. So you might be coming with particular learning needs. Maybe it's color, maybe you want to find your style, get gallery representation. You can pull out a few specialties here. Which means our mentors have specialties associated with them. So if you want to work with a business mentor, then pop that in there and you'll see the mentors that do business. We also have day of the week. So if you have limited time, style, if that's important to you, maybe you're getting into abstract subject matter. Again, sometimes that's important as well. And it goes on anyways. So then you're going to have a more limited selection of mentors to choose from. And we could narrow this down a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, so now we have a smaller selection, and you can see that it'll show if there's limited spots left. So you'll know you'll need to move a bit quicker. And if the group is full, it'll be marked as full in the top corner. And then basically you just click on the image to learn more about the mentor. And I will, since I am in here, I'm just gonna X these off and I'll show you Lori's page because I'm pretty sure she's got space in her group. All right, so let's check out Lori. So every mentor has a page like this all about them. We want you to learn about them, feel like you have an idea of who they are. You can read up about them, check out their website and social media. Often they have a video that they've done with Mastrius that you can watch here, get a feel for them. And then you'll see images of their work, of course. And then their expertise. So this is an important section. Each mentor chooses their expertise, and we have 3 categories: technical, marketing, and business. And they choose the expertise that they feel that they can mentor around. So this is the boundaries of the topics that they can help you with. So this is Lori's. Hers are quite wide. We call her a generalist because she can literally go any direction with you, which means that you can request what you need. Absolutely. Some mentors you'll see have really honed in on just a few. So some will have just a few technical expertise and that's it. Or some will just be tackling business and that's it. So this is kind of where you make a good match and you see what they're going to tackle and what they're not going to tackle. You can also read up some testimonials from other artists at Mastrius who have worked with that mentor. It's good to get feedback from other artists. And then you'll see the mentors group information. So Lori has a group for aspiring artists and emerging artists. And you can see the next session date and time is listed here. It should show up in your time zone. If you don't select cookies, it might not. So if cookies comes up, just agree to the cookies and it will put it in your time zone, which is helpful. And then if there's space in the group, you can add it to your cart and register. If a group is full, this button will say join waitlist. And then you can just leave your name and email on the waitlist and we will email you when someone leaves a full group so that you can come back and get the spot, but you have to be quick because they do fill up. So if that time and date works for you and you're aspiring or emerging, then go ahead and register in one of those. And then you begin the cycle. And this is all that's included in that monthly membership fee. And you can cancel at any time. You're not locked in. You're not married to us. So you get your mentorship session, which is 2 hours a month, your mid-month session, which is the 1 hour casual one with your navigator and group. All of our weekly live events, like what we just did today, we do a new event every week. Sometimes it's a 2 hour demo. Sometimes it's a panel discussion on important topics like how to price your artwork. We do live art critiques as well. And then you're also going to get a My Studio space, which is our digital private platform, which is pretty cool. There's some cool tools in there and stuff for you to have all of your Mastrius stuff in one place. And then you're also going to get a chat group with your mentorship group. So you have a way to connect to your group during the month as well. And there's discounts and member pricing on stuff as well. So there's lots of value with that membership fee. And then a little bit more down is a little bit more about the mentor. And that's kind of how you discover and learn about each mentor. And yeah, and if you have any questions when you're on the website, there is a chat bubble bottom left. You can pop a question in there. You can give us a call that goes right to my team at any time. If you need help on the website, just let us know. And the base membership, you'll find it under events because it's kind of event focused. So right here, you can grab that at any time. You get 1 month for free, and that gets you into all of these live weekly events. And again, we do something awesome every week, lots of great content. You always can ask questions. It's live, it's interactive. And if you can't make it to the event, you can watch the recording. So you'll have access to that as well. Panel discussions, painting challenges, demos, critiques, etc., and discounts with that membership as well. Yeah, so grab a free month there. And then you can see too, our upcoming events are here. So let's see what's coming up. So that was today. Next week is Guard Your Creativity While Building a Sustainable Business. So this is a good one because being a career artist can suck the life out of you. I know, because it did for me, because I wasn't guarding my creativity. I was giving it away. And so this is a really good topic and important for artists who want to maintain their creative control, want to have a balanced life, and still build a business and, you know, be a career artist. So join us for that. And then the week after, it's avoiding creative burnout while working on a series. So how do you do a body of work, a series, without getting bored, without burning out? So we'll be talking to these two mentors. And then we've got a demo. This is actually a Photoshop for painters demo. This is going to be really interesting with Jessica Oliveris. These are all of our mentors. So that's going to be fabulous. And that's a 2-hour demo. And there'll be something after that. So keep checking back to see what events are coming, and come for a month for free. And yeah, and then our member platform is called My Studio, and you will get access with any membership. You're going to get a space here. This is my studio space. So I've got all my stuff here. If I want to come to a free event, I'm a member, so I get free tickets. My mentorship group stuff is here. So I've got my session link, my next session date and time. The sessions are recorded, by the way, and you get access for every session you've paid for. As long as you're a member at Mastrius, you can go back to any mentorship session recording. It's awesome. And your chat group link is here. And there's other goodies in here, other tools and whatnot. And the event recording library, if you purchase that, that is a treasure trove. This is the library that Jason was talking about, where all of our weekly event recordings are stored. And we've been having these events for 5 years now. So if you want to check out some demos by our masters, here's the demo library. And it goes on and on and on. Just click on the image to watch the recording. And it's only $19 a month, but you have to be a member to get access. So grab the free base membership, and then you can get this. It's so cheap. Art critiques, live panels. Here you can see all the different topics that we have tackled. Literally everything under the sun, from developing your artistic style to hosting your own art show, from exhibiting, building your brand, imposter syndrome and courage, social media. Yeah, it's just incredible. So if you are in a learning mood, you want to binge watch, have fun. Anyway, that is kind of the quick tour. And I'm sure Mike's been answering your questions in the chat. Yeah, thank you for joining us. I hope that you found that helpful and valuable. If ever you have a question, again, just reach out. You can email us at mastrius@mastrius.com as well. And you're on our email list, so you'll be seeing stuff coming each week, new mentors that are launching groups and events that we're doing each week. So stay in touch there. And yeah, I hope that you'll join us. It's a lovely, lovely community. How do I get to the library? You're welcome. Can I download a video to watch on an airplane? I don't know if you can download it, but if you have Wi-Fi on the airplane, you should be able to watch it. It's smiley face. Katie, are you a member? Because then I can show you how to get to the library. It will be in your, you must be, let me show you. Yes, okay. Let me see if I know how to get there. Yeah, I think I do. Okay, so we'll start back at the home page and I'll show you. Okay, so from the home page, go to the members drop down, go to, let's go to My Studio. I know you can get there from Mastrius chat. Yeah, so I have it here because I'm a member. I'm paying for it. Go to Mastrius chat. Mike might have to correct me here. And in here, we've kind of buried it. Purchase recording library. So right there under events, purchase recording library, click on that. We are rebuilding our platform, FYI, so that you're not searching for stuff. So this is the page where you can purchase that. I'll throw this in the chat too. So sorry, Mike.
And then once you've purchased the recording library, it will show up as one of the groups in your My Studio, and then you click on it as a group.
Okay. So they won't see it like I see it in My Studio? Or do you mean in Mastrius chat?
Mastrius chat. It'll show up as a group in Mastrius chat.
Yeah, so if you go to Mastrius chat, and again, we've got these two. So when you go to my groups, you should see it here, event recordings library. But you should also see it in your My Studio like I do, I believe. We have everything in two places just to make it so there too. Yeah, just message us if you have any trouble. And the link is in the chat. Awesome. All right, let's leave it there. Thanks again for coming, and I hope to see you next week. Have a lovely evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for joining us. Bye.